Okay, so the YouTube videos that we've been talking about, the tutorials and that kind of thing, it's still a little chilly outside right now, so what we're going to do is an armor tutorial. What we're going to be doing is dollar store armor. I know, it sounds weird, but it's the truth, and here's how we're going to do it. I was at the dollar store today, and I found these guys. It says 2 arm plates, ages 3+. I think we're probably all good with that. So what I'm going to do is take it out of the package. I'm going to save these little metal bands. You can't really... These plastic coated metal wire ties. They come in useful in the shop all over the place, so we're going to make sure that we keep track of that. So I'm going to take it out of the package, like so. Take it out like this. Take that wire tie out, save him right there. Okay, so what we've got is this. This is plastic. It's got a little bit of weird kind of paint stuff on it, but you can see it's pretty flimsy. It's got these little plastic straps on it, and we're going to take those off. But what it's also got is a really cool design. It's got the knuckles, it's got the bands here, the triangles, and that kind of stuff, and that's what we're going to want to preserve for the armor. What we're going to start by doing is I'm going to take my cutters over there, and I'm going to cut at the knuckles here to where it'll actually sit a little closer to a natural wrist. So here we go. Can you see me? No, probably not. I'm going to move the camera. Okay, you can see I'm cutting along right here. Cutting along in there. I'm going to cut up here. And I'm basically just going to cut, I'm going to cut across this way. Make that much easier. I want to be careful not to make it flex too much because it's still really brittle at this stage. I'm going to cut this piece off right here. Just going to cut through that little stem. Bam, like that. It's got a little itty bitty screw here, and I think I'm just going to rip that out. Yep, just like that. I'm going to take these pieces out because this is where my wearer's hand is going to go. Okay, yeah, that'll work. There we go. And now I'm just going to trim up to this knuckle line here, like so. I'm going to trim up in the middle, like that, and then take that up that way. You don't have to be perfect with it, because this is just going to get sanded down later anyway. But this is how we do it. Okay, so, oh, no, there's some more. So I got this weird thing here that I'm going to take off too. It's still a little weird. There we go, that's a little better. Alright, so now what we got is this, so I'm going to take these guys off. Bam, bam. Those plastic straps aren't going to be nearly enough to keep this thing attached, so we're not going to do that. And what we're going to do is trim these off. Boom, like that. And then boom, like that. I'll leave that out a little bit. We'll take care of that in a sec. Boom. And boom. Okay, now I'm going to take my razor knife, and I'm going to use my razor knife to clean up these edges, like so. Then I'm going to use that same razor knife to kind of bevel that edge there to where it looks like it's supposed to be that way and not like I just cut something out. Like so. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And bevel that down like so. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing to these edges up here. I'm going to get rid of all the little weird pieces of plastic that could dig into my wearer. I'm going to trim down these edges some like this. Alright, well that's not bad. So now what we've got is like a small vambrace piece that can go right there. If I were to cut it off, say right here maybe, then it could go farther back or something like that. But what we've got right now is the beginnings of a pretty solid vambrace, which is awesome. So I've got a whole bunch more of these, and what I'm going to do is do all of them, do this step for all of them, and that's going to take a long time, so I'm going to come back when I've got that done. Okay, I figured out that doing it by hand is okay, but automating it with a Dremel with a clamp on the side of the bench here is going to be much faster. I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6.5 done, and I've still got this whole pile of guys to do. So now that I can use some power tools, it's going to go a whole lot faster. So what I've got here is all 12 of them cut out because I bought a whole bunch of them because it was the dollar store and a pair of these guys was $1. So what I've got is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. How do I have 13? Maybe I'm missing one. Oh, I am missing one. Okay. So what I've got is these guys. Only this pair here at the end actually kept the knuckles because it was much easier and faster to just go ahead and do it straight. So these guys are probably going to get a special treatment later. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit all of the melted plastic edges and stuff on the belt sander here. And I'm going to wear my hearing protection and my face protection because no one likes to take it in the face. Alright, I got the shop cleaned up a little bit. Swept up a lot of the plastic stuff that I had knocked down onto the ground, got it off of the workbench and onto the floor and then into the trash can. And now I'm going to put on my protective gear and use the belt sander. Here we go. So there you go. I cleaned up most of the edges. I still got a little bit of that weird kind of burr stuff around on the edges, and I'm probably going to go over that with a different grit sandpaper here in just a few, but I'm going to do all 12 of these guys first. So there you go. I've got them all belt sanded, and they're looking pretty good right now, and what I'm going to do now is dig into my bin O abrasives, and I've got this super fine sanding sponge, and the cool thing about a sanding sponge is that it'll get like wherever you want it to go without you having to do a whole lot of work. It kind of adjusts to whatever you're trying to do, so that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go and kind of fine-tune these edges. Ta-da! Here we go. Okay, so here's where things get interesting. So what I've got now is I've got these guys, and they're pretty well finished off on the outside. Everything's relatively smoothed out, but they're still really flimsy. So what I'm going to do is, you can see you can bend them and twist them and whatever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some foam, and I'm going to make a layer on the inside of each of these to make them more rigid. The link at the bottom of the page, or the top of the page, at the top of the screen, is where I got this idea from. It's from a guy named Alan Hops. He's a professional haunter down in Dallas, Texas, and a lot of the stuff that that I've learned has come from him. He's an awesome guy, and he does really, really amazing work, and he does work on the cheap. He's the one who got me to go to a dollar store, and total shout out to Alan. Thank you for being an inspiration. So I've got some hot water in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that water and I'm going to put it into this thingy here so I can use it. And basically this is just a creamer bottle that's been cut off. I saved pretty much all of my yogurt containers, all of my, basically anything plastic, I save for use in purposes just like this. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this stuff, Gorilla Glue. And the Gorilla Glue is going to go into the water, and it's going to mix up kind of like honey and water. It's not going to completely mix itself up with the water, but it's going to for the most part. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the goo in here, and I'm going to paint a layer of goo on the inside of each of these van braces. And what that's going to do is you're going to be able to watch it rise and create a layer of foam on the inside. And that layer of foam is going to be what's going to give us some rigidity before we start painting and doing anything else like that. So two things to remember. When you put the Gorilla Glue into whatever container you put it into, that container is going to be dead. That project is going to be done. So what I've got is I've got everything all laid out so that I can do all of my painting at once with one brush, because the brush is also going to be dead.